It's the 10th of July 2026. And I'm soaking wet in sweat because obviously it's almost 30 degrees outside. So I'm at Bridport again. Today's been a better day. There's been no threats at all in Bridport. And I'm going to spend the next 2 hours see if I can make way to the barn if it's not how do I put it, if the brambles haven't gone over too far on it. I don't think I can get in there, but I'll give it a try. Yes, the bike issue's been really bad. So the last couple of days they've just been timing loud bikes to get in an itchy tingling rim, a bell, trying to get in an Erec. You know, they won't stop it, and I'm getting very, very annoyed with it. So obviously we're creeping back into the 1,000 area of how many loud bikes they're timing per day, and doing it to every single impulse. Just literally taking the piss. In actual fact, they're starting to bring my father into the equation with the suggestion, and I'm not going to go into all that because I don't want to offend family members, and this sort of action shouldn't be taken. They're absolutely taking the piss. The other thing I want to mention with the loud bike is, regardless of timing it to these issues, they seem to be extra louder bikes when you type something like on the internet saying that I'm desperate for a shag. As soon as you type that or got that in your mind, the bike is louder than regular bikes, and it's being timed in that way as well. Or I write something like "Dar dogs non-stop suggests the entrance are just in time," and I like sort of joke and put girlfriend first or whatever. If I type that or on the internet on Facebook for a temporary basis, 10 times loud bike. Or when will I ever get a partner? Who will be my future partner? 10 times loud bike. And think to myself, you know, what about when I've been abused as a child, and you know, by different people? And then I think to myself, well, when am I going to get, was there going to be a replacement? You know, sort of, I have mentioned that on the internet. 10 times loud bike. What is it? Other things I thought. Alright, well, who's God? Who's going to be the God? If God returns, who will it be? His girlfriend, to replace what's been taken from me. 10 times loud bike. So the next thing we go on about is, what was it? A lively connection, or how to get your feelings out of someone, and that you're desperate for a fuck and not had anyone in your whole life. 10 times loud bike. So it's everything like that. You know, everything you do is timing a louder bike purposely, as these sorts of occurrences are occurring, or similar to what I've just mentioned. As far as the bike issue goes, there's not been record-breaking number of bikes at the moment today, but what I will say is, for Bridport, as far the actual town itself, as far as timing a bike to an erection is concerned, or tingling bell end, or rim, or whatever, or itching impulse in the bum, or whatever, rather personal to speak about, but I'm getting fucked off with it. It's not a subject I like speaking about. It's very personal, but you know, I'm getting very, very annoyed with it. It's been going on for many years, and I'm getting pissed off of it. But you know, so yeah, so they've increased the bike action at Bridport. I've not walked into many sexual people either. There seems to be women that look like they're single, but I don't know if they are. It's not like Yeovil, where everyone's in a relationship, everyone's with a child, everyone's a mother. You know, it's not very helpful, it's, to say the least. Because I've had a lot of problems on well, I haven't been dating much at the moment. I'm just speaking to one specific person. But what I can tell you now is there's 3 people that I know damn well isn't anymore, because these 3 people are turned against me. So I go to this like mind place in Yeovil. There's several people that go there, So you've got one that begins with T, who's 42, one that begins with C, who's 23, and you've got another one. All of those people that go to... Damn bag. Yeah. They're completely fallen through, so the whole lot's through. I mean, you've got Lucy. She hasn't been there since January. And then obviously I tried asking, going back to last year, I tried asking a neighbour if she was interested. Beginning with G, I won't say the name, I'm not allowed to. All these people are turned. And then you've got that 4-letter name with E. That's gone as well. Yeah, there's something I want to mention to messages that I've received recently on dating sites. I've not used them, but I've had emails from stuff that I've messaged going back months and months ago. Right, I've reached the barn. I've got a load of loud bikes to erections, and I get getting confused on what I'm saying on the digital audio recording device. Because I won't stop hitting my willy down with a loud bike, or a tingling itching bell end, or rim. They just will not fucking stop it. This bike action has been very fucking bad this year. It's the worst this year on record for how long it's been done in one go, and for the quantity and the period of time out of every other year since it's ever started. So, you know, let's get to the dating, shall we? Because there's a message I sent at the beginning of January 2026 on one of the dating sites, and obviously this person's replied with an email to my email, basically. Give me an email to tell me about this and that. So she told me that she's got a problem with the age gap, because obviously I'm 44 coming up 45 and she's only 19, but she did tell me a bit about her past. So she said that she's had boyfriends since the age of 9. When she was 11, she had a boyfriend aged 15, and that's where she lost her virginity. Obviously, she dumped him because he was, what's the word she used? Being over, I can't remember the word she used. Overpowering, maybe. I can't remember if that's the word she used. And she had to dump the 15-year-old boy. Obviously, when she was 11, she found someone else her age, and when she reached 14, the boyfriend reached 14, he dumped her because he found someone else slightly younger who was more attractive in the school that she was at. At the age of 15, she got another boyfriend, and unfortunately this person told her that he loved her so much and tried making her pregnant, and she obviously had to dump him because of what nearly happened. When she was late 15, nearly coming up 16, she found another boyfriend. So she was in a relationship with this boyfriend. Later on, at the same age of 16, she saw an older bloke that was really attractive, and she really took to this older bloke. And what happened is because of this, she dumped her boyfriend that she was with at the age when she was 16. She never saw this chap after months and months and months because they lost communication. So she gave up on this older bloke and found another bloke when she reached 17. When she was 17, she got pregnant with this other bloke. After she got pregnant, this bloke that she was with started getting more violent with her and saying that he doesn't really like her and all the rest of it. And then they split up, and then obviously when she was 18, she went on dating sites. She's been on a couple of dates, but the men that she's been with, or the men that she's dated, she's not interested in. And obviously she's a mother. After that, we reached a time period where she contacted me from the message that I sent on the dating site, and obviously I replied, I'm not bothered about it anyway, because I'm looking for someone that's not a single parent. So that's the first message. Right, so the next thing I want to mention to you is the other reply from a dating site. This is an email that I've had recently, but I haven't really gone through all my emails recently to read them out. So I'm just going through. These are nothing. There's been for months and months. I've not used any dating sites. So all these messages that I'm receiving are just old replies that I'm getting, or looking at through emails. So this is a 29-year-old, this person. Once again, she's got a problem with the age gap, because I'm 44 coming up 45. Which is not good, because some of these people that are moaning about the age gap are older than people that sexually abused me as a child at the age they would have been at the time that I was abused. But anyway, this is a sickening story as well. So, again, she was a bit older, so her first boyfriend was when she was 11, and obviously she lost virginity at the age of 11 as well. When she was 15, her boyfriend split up because her boyfriend found someone else who she thinks is more attractive than she is. So obviously, not long after, she got another boyfriend, and obviously she was with that boyfriend for a couple of years, and they had a child. That boyfriend started getting a bit nastier, and they ended up splitting up, and then almost straight away after that she found another boyfriend. That boyfriend also made her pregnant, so she would have had 2 children by 2 different dads. And then finally she found another person after this person also started getting nasty, so she had to dump this person as well, and she got a third person, where again she got pregnant by the third person and have 3 children. So by the age of 21 she was a mother of 3 with 3 different dads. So since that time she's had boyfriends, but not proper boyfriends as such. It's more a case of for having sex with her. So she's a mother that's been living on her own for the last 7 years. And then obviously for the last 5 or so years she's had no boyfriend at all. And obviously she's replied to my message, and obviously I told you what she said. She's not interested because of the age gap, and obviously I don't want a mother or someone that's very used and very stale, that's had sex with all other people, because it's not right to give me someone that's fucked everybody when I haven't had anyone in my whole life. To be fair, looking at it on a logical point of view, I should be with a virgin, a sexual looking virgin that's a lot younger than me at the age of the time that I should have had someone. That's not possible. My enemies have put all that through. That won't be replaced. That's not possible to be replaced under any circumstances whatever. But if I can get someone that's not a mother, who's cleanish, does not had too. The problem is all these ladies, they're having raw sex. They don't wear condoms, you see, and there's a risk of getting HIV and other diseases. You've got that problem as well, because all these other guys, they're fucking everyone. They go in nightclubs and all this, and then once they're about 20, they've shagged about 1,000 different ladies, young ladies or girls or whatever. And once that's happened, it's literally way too late. They're bound to have diseases if they have raw sex with everybody. But This is why they're becoming mothers all everywhere. You know, so that's that issue. Right, so the next thing I want to mention is someone's contacted me. I'm not sure who this is. To me it sounds like it could be someone that's mentally ill and got a young, how do I word it? Got a mental age of a younger person than the age she is. But I'm not sure who this person is, but she said she's spoken to me. But what she wanted to tell me is that when she was messaging me, is to say that she liked me, or she likes me as a friend, but she said I'm too old for her. And then she says I've already got a boyfriend, or whatever. You can work out the accent of how she's putting it in the wording. It's like she's laughing at the same time, or she's gigglish in the way that she's replying to this message. The next thing that she messaged is just sort of a general conversation. We're talking for a maximum of about 10 minutes. And obviously wasn't really talking sexual stuff as such, just sort of just messaging bits and pieces. And I just I did say that I've been single and I've not had anyone, and the reason sort of I may have asked you if you're single or whatever is because I've not had anyone in my whole life and I'm a younger person. So she sort of said, sort of saying that she wants to have a baby, but she wants to have a baby with the boyfriend she's with. And sort of says, and I said that's fine. Everyone's got a right to go with who they want to go with. They shouldn't be forced to go with negative people. They shouldn't be forced to go with people they don't want, And if they want to be with someone, that's fine. And that's what I basically said. I don't have a problem with it. And then she sort of, in a polite way, she sort of said, I don't want to be friends with you and I don't want to speak to you again. But it wasn't nasty, if you get what I mean. It was done in sort of very polite, calm way. And then after that, she blocked me. So I don't know who this person is, but this person is out the door as well. So yeah. So recapping on that, basically she said she did like me, and saying you're a very funny man. I don't like the term she used, but she didn't mean it in that way, if you get what I'm saying. But she said that she's got a boyfriend and she wants to keep that boyfriend, and saying that you're a lot younger, and basically a polite way of saying she won't allow the age gap. Like I said, I don't know who this person is. It could be anyone, or it could just be someone pranking. I do not know. But anyway, she said she wants a baby with her boyfriend, and obviously I'm not happy about it, because it limits me down by one person of the opportunities that are left out there. But if that's what she wants to do, then she's got a right to do that, because she's got a right to do what she wants in life. How do I word it? It's not right for me to get involved in someone else's relationship. It's the wrong thing to do. And they should be left to do what they want to do without me or anybody else telling them what to do. So that's what I'm doing, leaving. And that's what I told her, basically. That's what I messaged her. I said, you have a right to do what you want to do without me or anybody else pestering you to go with me instead. You make your own decision. Obviously, I might feel gutted by it, but it's up to you who you go with. I can't push you to go with me, and I can't push you to go with, you can't push me to go with you. So sort of like that sort of thing. So which is a responsible way of dealing with the situation. So obviously, we had a bit of a discussion. Nothing nasty, not really. Just sort of more in a way of friendship talking rather than that. And then she sort of just basically said, I don't want to speak to you again, but I'm not doing it to be nasty. I just don't want to know you anymore. And then sort of blocked me. I can't remember the wording she used, but it's a lot more politer now I'm wording it now. Anyway, that person's gone. I don't know who it is, whether it's a prank But this person has said that she's spoken to me in recent times. That could be anybody, because there's quite a few people that I've spoken to that are female, young-looking or sexual-looking females that I've spoken to. But basically all of them, because everyone's turned, whoever this person is, this is the next person to turn. It doesn't sound like it's that person that has the name C, who's aged 23. It's not the accent of the person who's aged 42 with the initial T, and it's not Lucy either. This is another person again. I don't have a clue who it is. I'm trying to think. People will go to the church or whatever. Or it just could be someone that's just an undercover person doing something. I don't know. Could be anything. But if it is a real person, it's another person that's through. So that's that. Right, so let's get on with the threats. The threats have been increasing. I'm being mistaken as Sven, and there's a couple that are mistaking me as Liam. The actual threats directly outside my place have been increasing in the last few days. They're saying that I'm going to be weaponed down and that it's going to turn out nasty and turn out bloody. They're also to tell me that I'm going to be shot dead, and also to say that I'm going to be injected or whatever. I've also been told that I'm being smashed out on a number of occasions, and although the digital audio recording device is mostly for timing loud bites to getting an erection, because I've tried starting to record that because I'm getting pissed off of it because the increase is the issue. It's likely that there's some stuff that's come out in the audio recordings that I haven't played back, which may contain these threats, because they've been coming out quite a lot lately. For recent times, it's the nastiest it's been for some time now. It's starting to get a little bit nastier again. As far as threats go in town, yes, I can't remember. It wouldn't have been the day before, because I think I did a recording, on the camera, because it's the day I've got the digital audio recording device, where today I've got it, and I could only do a short recording where it's talking about that Anna, who's a new name that's uncovering in Jungle Tracks. Well, it's not a new name that's uncovering in Jungle Tracks, because I knew it when it's in Dan Strand's Randall Mission Control 2nd of the 4th 1994 mix back in 94 when I first had the tape. I knew it said Anna. But it's these Strictly Jungles and other jungle mixes that I'm listening to that are uncovering in the same series as tapes that I had, but tapes that I've never listened to, or mixes I've never listened to, because I've never been bothered to listen to them, because I only listen to the ones that I used to have. But now and again, I like to check out what ones I missed from the ones I should have bought back in the day. And basically it's saying that I'm having sex with Anna when I'm 45, but I don't know who this Anna is. That's the problem. She's yet to come into my life. I was talking to this with the people at Holly Court actually yesterday. So what happened is what was it? They wanted to sort of have a discussion. They seemed to like a council worker with them. I don't know why that is to talk about the issue of problems of sexuality, and and they wanted to mention this specific 4-letter name that begins with E, because they said that they need to make sure that I know the ins and outs and the rules and how things stand today, because back in my time or whatever, because I don't have a TV or anything, I don't know the laws and the sort of, when you think of the sort of, well, I know what the legal age of consent is, but there's sort of things that are tied around age gaps, and how people in the streets would react if you went with a younger person. They had to tell me all that sort of stuff and warn me about things, and this is why you need to go with someone more your age. But the problem is they're all mothers and they're all stale and very used at my age group. This is the problem. Nobody helped me in the past or repaired the problem in the past. This is the problem I got. It's not an easy one. They can see where I'm coming from, obviously, and they can understand if they were in that situation where they'd never had anyone and been abused as a child and not had sex all their life. They'd feel the same, basically. But but they have to go by the rules of what instructions they have when it comes to giving this information, even though it goes against me. But they just sort of said, and they would sort of ask them, what will you do if you don't get anyone by the age of 45? Because they're like concerned. I think they like got that concern that I might commit suicide. Obviously, if I'm 45 and I still got no one, it's a very serious age, because you know people are not going to accept the age gap. And as my life worsens, I don't want it to have to come to that, but I have to admit, I'm not enjoying my life, and all I'm doing is wasting my money on vodka, smoking, which is eventually going to give me lung cancer, my liver and kidneys are going to fail, and all the rest of it. But I just can't live my life. All I'm doing is suffering for a fuck each day, getting thoughts all the time, constantly, about being sexually abused or what happens in my next life when I'm born again, and nobody helping me in this life. It doesn't exactly help the issue, does it? And then you've got like loud bikes being hammered to erections, or lookalikes to people that raped me as a child, tying to erections on top of that while walking about in the streets. To every erection, we're never amiss. Then you've got all this setup and action, nailing me as a sick so-and-so, telling me that I should be with a granny on a Zimmer frame and that I shouldn't be enjoying sex or having sex at all at my age. Then you've got setups or threats of people trying to smash you in, or always on sexual grounds, or this and that on grounds of abuse or whatever, when you haven't done anything wrong, you know. It goes on, and the story goes on. And the risks of everything else, all the other trouble. You've got everyone in a smartphone, in a relationship, who owns a smartphone. It's a very, very awkward situation that I'm living. So today, obviously I've been on Nicorettes since last year. I'm just chewing on Nicorettes every night with smoking fags, but I'm struggling like hell to give up the smoking. And I smoked about 20 fags last night. We've gone back to how bad it was in the middle of January. And the vodka's increased to that as well. Because I had a lot of water last night and this morning, I didn't feel as tipsy as I did on the tipsiest day I've ever been. When I woke up the next day, I've only had it happen 3 times. The first couple of days in the beginning week of January, and on the 14th of January, the day I saw that person with the 4 letters name. It's because I nearly broke down at the pool table. Something just went in. I just had a thought like, I'm not going to get anyone, and I was sort of speaking to this 4-letter name, thinking how cute she is, and something caused me to, I don't know what it was, because obviously I was tipsy. I was like shaking, wobbling, like the feeling like that, like something's taking you inside, and you're about to just about to break down on the floor crying. And I would have broke down and fucking watered down my eyes out on the floor. I don't know what caused to do that. How I managed to hold myself together was literally almost impossible. I don't know what caused it though. That's the thing. But something nearly caused me to break down on the floor. Something got inside me when I was speaking to that 4-letter name that I'm not allowed to put on Facebook anymore. But I literally came to the floor. But I managed to control myself by literally near enough nothing. How I managed to not break down, I do not know. But something caused it. I don't know. Some action took place on me. But I was tipsy. I smoked a lot the night before. And I was shaking like anything. And I was also shaking because I liked that 4-letter name, and I wanted to try and see if I could get friendship with her to later on go out with her. But that is all through. This is the name with the 4 letters that's got that religious name that's also a goddess name. What else? Her name's uncovering in about 300 jungle tracks nearly, with especially in the choir voice, in the choir chords, or certain parts of certain 2-bar sounds where it makes so like I won't do it in a suggestive way because you'll pick out the name, but it's right across the New Age scene in meditation. It's right across dark ambient cryo chambers, dark ambient music. The actual dance trance head cover, the name of the person that designed that cover, which is on the medical book, there's a singer with that 4-letter name that has that surname to that person who designed the Dance Trance tape cover. The actual name is uncovering in many different fields and aspects of life involving around me. It's like they messed up. It's like this plan was to take place for me to go with that person that's got that 4-letter name, and it's all fallen through. That's what it appears to be. It's still doing it now. But May and June in particular, the beginning part of June, it was unfolding. And even at that time, it was too late to go with this person because I've lost contact. But it's still, revealing itself or making a suggestion that you're going with this person or that God's help. It's like it's Armageddon, basically. It's like Armageddon. God's not going to turn. God's won by letting you have that goal you've been wanting all your life. But at the same time, if it's Armageddon, then God's turned or Satan's won. Because that specific person's gone now. There's nothing I can do about that. So anyway, the other things that I wanted to mention is I've been getting a bit of burning here and there over the last couple of days still. Obviously one of the neighbours has moved out, which is a shame, but at least he's got a place of his own where he can enjoy life and that. So hopefully when he's sorted that out, maybe I can see if I can pop around and have a chat with him, because I got on really well with him as a friend for the last few years since I knew him. So yeah, that's good. What else has happened? Trying to think. Trying to sort of go through different jungle tracks at the moment, because they're still uncovering that name, you see. But what is new? This has only happened in the last week. Is this Anna? Which is very similar. I might actually say it's a very similar name to a name I can't say it, in fact. But obviously, again, there's lots of names that are similar to Anna. Anyway, this actually does say Anna and doesn't say the 4-letter name that I'm not allowed to say. This is in Wax Doctor, the Saint. The original unreleased mix, side B. There's 2 versions on there. There's one that's a bit more shallow than the other version and doesn't have so much depth or texture to it than the version that DJ Randall played. So DJ Randall played it at Dreamscape 10. So that's Randall, Dreamscape 10, and 25 minutes through the tape, or 25 minutes through the mix, should I say, is where Wax Doctor the Saint is. It's also on Dance Trance Randall Mission Control 2nd of the 4th 1994, which is my first jungle tape. So when it says Anna, it says it like this. Well, I say it more says Anne actually than Anna, but it sort of it says it like this. So it goes Anne, 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 and then it goes into like Killer Bee sounds, where it sounds like dun 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 dun. So it's like that. Obviously, just giving you like a sample of the track. Also, I like the Simon Templar remix of that. Simon Templar mix. So that's Wax Doctor the Saint, Simon Templar mix on Reinforced Records. I like that version as well. They're equally as good, both versions. They're 10 out of 10 tunes. So, yeah, is this specific jungle mix that I was listening to that's uncovered this. Even though that other 4-letter name I'm not allowed to mention is still uncovering itself right in the midst of this Anna as well. It's sort of 2 going together at the moment. But the problem is one's through, so maybe Anna's the replacement. But it basically says that when I'm 45, I'm going to be having sex with Anna. And it clearly says my name in the track. I can't remember the actual lyrics. but it's on the jungle tape that I was listening to one evening when I was pissed on YouTube. In actual fact, I can't remember what it is, which is helpful. So basically, if I can remember it properly, it's got MC Bassman in there. It's got other. So basically, it says it doesn't say enjoying sex, but makes it gives but it does say the same thing. So it's MC Bassman saying the girl's giving it me, something like that. I can't remember what it exactly said, and saying Justin's enjoying sex with Anna, you know. And then better Bassman, better Ridey, but it's got two different MCs in that mix, and it's right across suggested jungle tracks as well. To me, they sound like late '94, early '95 jungle tracks, but I'm not sure because I can't remember what mix I was listening to. But it's definitely a mix that I would have had in its day if I bought that specific tape. And its likelihood is it would have been released as it's just after Dance Trance. So just sort of after Dance Trance, sort of, definitely be in the period after Dance Trance we have the technology. Straight after that. So whether it's connected to that Dance Trance, I do not know. I can't remember what I listened to now. I think it was Strictly Jungle. I'm not sure, but it's Strictly Jungle tape I've not heard before. But I also want to go on about another Strictly Jungle tape because it's not as suggestive, but it's in there. MC Bassman says 21 today, and does say, I can't remember his MC in now, and then it says on to 45, giving a girl run or whatever. I can't remember the lyrics, but it definitely says 45. But the interesting bit about this is on Strictly Jungle XTC. So the tape is T-Zone and XTC. On the XTC part of the tape, where MC Bassman is saying that, it cuts into Engineers Without Fear's Spiritual Aura, and then goes into Jungle Just Got the Power. And in the bit where it says Jungle Just Got the Power, which is DJ Hype, you must think first, it says going out to the span and the ladies who are dripping wet. It's MC Bassman says it. And then obviously, to cut a long story short, there are several other issues like pre-known Stars on 45, which is a commercial track from 83, something like that, 1983. I can't remember the year. It's like they all sort of linking up to my age, but not linking up to my age, but the main name has been put through, but it's still revealing itself around me strongly. The other thing I want to mention is, although I've always known it said Anna in that track, this Anna name's linking up as well. So whether this Anna is the replacement of this other person, but then again, because the name's so close, they might just put the word there to apply that other name I'm not allowed to say the name of. Either way, whatever happens, if I don't get anyone by the age of 45, it means that it's been taken from me, whoever it is. They've messed up. They really have messed up. And only the other day, it was 2 days ago when I came to Bridport, this is what really sort of hyped up that Anna name. Because they said they're not going to let him have Anna. They're going to take it away from him. And they said it's going to go into World War III. And I thought, that's a very serious thing, That is what was said between two very old people in a car as I was walking near enough to where I am now the other day, but on the road part. So yeah, that's worth mentioning as well, even though I've already mentioned it. But it's finding out whether it's that 4-letter name I'm not allowed to say, or whether it's Anna. This is the problem. I don't know an Anna, but I know the 4-letter name that I'm not allowed to say, because I was playing pool with her on one specific day on the 14th of January 2026, and that is the only day and only time that I ever saw this person. She did tell me she was going to go back, for a couple of months, and she did tell me that she was there the week before. The week before I didn't see her there. The day I saw her is the only day I ever saw her. Because they've been asking me questions, you may have been trying to ask her out when she was already said no. And I said, that's not true, because I've not actually seen her since that one day. That one day is the only day that I saw her. But they seem to have the suggestion, or they got the idea that this person's been going there again since that time that I saw her when she hasn't. If that came out on the audio recorder, something in the fireplace just made a boom, and that's a paranormal noise. Yeah, if you, I don't know if it's come out, but if you go back about 1 minute to now and turn the volume up on this, and if you heard that zoom sound, then it's something paranormal has come out there. Something happened in that fireplace. Just happened as I was doing this recording. Just want to mention, I've just gone to the toilet, that there's been another paranormal noise of a knock on the beam, the wooden beam. There's no there's no creatures, no birds, no nothing, no rats that are in there making that noise. I remember this happening when I was speaking about that 4-letter name, in fact. No, that's nothing. Yeah, I remember that 4-letter name before I was banned from mentioning it. I was asking questions whether the spirit world would tell me whether I could get that person with that 4-letter name. But for months I've not been allowed to mention that specific name. And I think the bad news is, obviously, when it comes to this, there's two people. That person that goes to Misterton and Mosterton, that's gone as well, by the way. There's a specific area where she went up a road, and there was like a boat that was outside. Well, that person's moved because it's a different layout, so there's a likelihood that she is a possible partner to someone else that met up at that time. Whatever has happened, that person is through. I just want to mention that because I don't know if I've already sort of mentioned it. And I've sort of made a few suggestions where it's possible, but I don't know actually. But confirmation, I think this is the first recording I've done to confirm that person's gone. But there's not much I can do in the situation of people turning against me all the time. I mean, the actual mine centre that I go to is literally pointless me going there at all. I mean, I rarely speak to that John because I'm fed up with his talking about that he can't help fancying younger people, and it's a very embarrassing when I sort of walk about with him, so I've kind of not having anything to do with him at the moment, which is going to end up with being blocked on Facebook and blocking his phone number. And if I do see him, I'm just going to say alright, because he's talking about his condition, which is to basically tell me he's a funny man, basically, if is the best way to put it, and saying that he can't help it. But you know. Yeah, so let's get on about the age of consent, because this was mentioned as well when I was talking about that 4-letter name. When we're discussing different subjects regarding sexuality and not being able to get sex and all the rest of it, which I was speaking about yesterday with this person from the council, appeared to be from the council, with Holly Court. So they just wanted to sort of let me know about the age of consent, that the legal age is 16, but it's better to be with someone over the age of 18, basically, saying that because they're still at school and at the age of 16 and 17, they're still classified as minors in the eyes of the law, even though they're legal age to have sex with. So, and then they sort of started saying, how would the public or the people out and about in town, how would they feel about it if they saw you as someone that was only that age, and all that sort of stuff. So it's sort of saying, so basically it is legal, but there are high restrictions for people that are over the age of 18, basically. So they see that they're still classified as minors. Obviously, if it's before 2003, that wouldn't be a problem, because they'd be known as a full adult even at the age of 16. But because they've enforced a new law, so they haven't upped the age of consent, but they've enforced a regulation, and also because they've changed the age of how old people are when they leave school from 16 to 18, means that they're classified as children still, because they changed the rule. And they were sort of talking to me about that and mentioning other things when they mentioned it. So the friendships or whatever, if they're under 18 but above 16, is okay, but it's hard to describe because they're still classified as children in the eyes of the law, according to the people that I was speaking to yesterday. So it seems to be a sort of complicated rule or thing. Although that's not really going to make any difference anyway, however, it is very serious that people seem to be parents when they're that age. That's the problem. That's what's making it very difficult. This is very awkward, to say the least, because the amount of the scarcity of single people, literally anywhere, everyone are taken, and they're all scammers on dating sites. No matter where you try, what you look for, you just cannot find anything at all. I'm relying on one person at the moment, and I don't know who this one person is, but this person, initially she wasn't very happy with me because she reported my Facebook account, and she made it sound like she did, but whether she did or didn't, I do not know. And I nearly lost all my Facebook. But she's continued to remain friends, even though I blocked her on Facebook, to speak to me, to say that she loves me and she's going to help me out. I don't know whether this has come true or not, but she says, when are we meeting up? I said, when are we meeting up in person? And when is life going to change? And she says she understands the condition I've been through, but, so do scammers. So, hang on. That would have definitely come out on air. Another paranormal noise. They seem to be single knocks. One knocks at various times. So it started in the fireplace, that sound. Then as I stopped the digital audio recording device, there was a hit on the beam. And there's that noise that's possibly come out on the ceiling, wooden roof or somewhere over the other direction of where I was. And again. Oh well. Could just be normal noises, sort of heat changes, I don't know. But the noise in the fireplace wasn't. And nor was that beam being hit. That wasn't. But that over there sounds a bit more rational explanation. Yeah, so anyway, this person speaking to me, she said she's going to meet me this month, in July. We've heard this before by scammers, by the way. But this person says that she's definitely going to see me this month, July. The end of this month. She said she's going to speak to me at the end of this month. This person, whoever it is, she says that she's an intelligent person. It's not someone that's stupid, I'll tell you that. this person says she wants me out my suffering, struggling, and saying that I can't see you in the state you're in and what you're going through, and saying that she's like seen my posts on Facebook. She's, you know, been looking at stuff. I don't know how long this person's actually been stalking my page. I don't care if anyone stalks my page. They can stalk my page if they want. Doesn't bother me. But this person is very intelligent. I'm not actually sure if it's the person she's actually saying she is, because she's showing like a black person that's got big boobs, and I don't go for that sort. But she does have smooth skin, and does have a sexual face. But bits in my mouth from the chocolate bar I ate. Because initially I had the thought that it could be someone else trying to contact me, maybe somebody that knows me in person. But what I can tell you now is the people that I thought it might be, or two of them, don't like me, which has only been confirmed this week and last week. So the people that go to Mind on Wednesday, they actually hate me. I'd never thought the day would come where what the other one would have turned. But obviously nobody goes on the... Well, actually, to be fair, looking at it in a logical way, because you've got to take into account that Lucy, or the four-letter name that I'm not allowed to mention, and Victoria, don't go there anymore. Victoria never liked me, and that specific person, that Victoria, I've never liked her, but she's never liked me. So there's one specific time where I said I'll see you all next week, and she started having a go at me, making me sound like I'm fucking weird as fuck, you know. And I thought, a bit of a cheek, you know. So she was one of the youngest ones that goes there. So she's 17. So she's like doing some form of work course there, something. I don't know what she was doing there, or just visiting, I don't know. But she went there for some reason, and so did Lucy. But those two came together. This doesn't make sense, because she was 17 and Lucy's 20. That does not make sense that someone 20 is still at school, or call it, you know, when her Facebook tells you that she works in a supermarket. Makes no sense at all. But when they came, they always came together, those two. And when they left, those two left together. Victoria didn't come every week, but Lucy did. I can't say surnames, obviously, but it just doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. Anyway, when it comes to these people that I've known at that specific community place at Mind, it's pointless going there, because each and every one of those people that I knew at that place, whether it's someone I knew from years ago or whether it's someone I knew in recent times, out of all the times I've been there, out of all the people I've known that go to Mind, each and every person that's been there that I've seen is all through. Everything's been counted for, and I'm not making that up. So it really is pointless going there at all unless a new person goes. And I'm not making that up. All those people that I knew, even if it's just for one day, like that four-letter name that I'm not allowed to mention, the whole lot is through. But it'd be interesting to find out who this person is that's speaking to me on Google Chat. She's got a name, or what's her name? Judya. So Judya. That's how she goes with her first name. Now obviously I know that's not her proper name. And I got a suspicion it's someone that understands my situation. It's someone that's not stupid. It could even just be a friend, just sort of using a fake account. I do not know. It could be a scammer. It could be anybody. But whoever it is seems to have an intelligence of knowing that I've been through a bad life, basically, and that this person knows that I can't take it anymore without me saying anything. She can work me out. I don't know how, or whoever it is that's speaking on there. And they said, you need to have that partner, and you're getting in a bad way, and sort of. But they know that it's not in a bad way, where it's like mental health of deteriorating to. She knows that hospital treatment or medication or stuff like that. She knows that's where people in authority would look at it in that way to sort your problem out. She can see it in the way that I see it, and she can understand me, and she knows that I'm going through a bad time. But there is no guarantee anything can come of it, and I don't know who it is. This is the problem. But what I will say, although she's speaking to me and said she's going to see me in July, which I can't guarantee, that's the end of this month. Yeah, this person's not stupid, but it's finding out if she's a real person or whether it's a faker. But this person is really intelligent, because I also message when I was like tipsy or been in a bad way, will you please not go with anyone, because as soon as you get pregnant it'll be too late, and all my enemies have done the same. And she said, I wouldn't hurt you and I wouldn't do that, and says, I know what you're going through, and and she's basically saying you can go with her, but it's finding out who it is. And it's also finding out, how. But what I will say, this person, she doesn't message her often. There can be days or up to a week where she doesn't message. But more recently, she's been messaging within 3 days and replying to me. I was telling her that I was still trying to look for other people, and then said, "Why do you do that?" And you're sort of getting serious about it. So as soon as she sent that message, I realised that this is a little bit more serious. If she doesn't meet up with me in July, by the end of July, or if we lose communication, I might have to start but at the same time I don't want to hurt this person. This person has feelings for me, if this person's genuine. It's hard to know what to do. At the same time I need backup, because if anything falls through I need replacements. This is what's happened. There's never been replacements, and all these people are turned against me. This is why I'm 44, coming up 45, with no replacements to all the people that have been taken from me right through my life. This is the problem. People say you have to wait for that person, or wait for that person to grow up a bit until she reaches legal age or whatever in the past, and then they find someone else. And then they can't replace it because they don't know anyone else that's single. We've had that many times. That's just an example, by the way. There are many different reasons, not just because that person's just turning a legal age or whatever, but there are many different. Most of the other reasons are different to that, but it's that sort of problem, but tied around a situation where you're stuck, or it falls through, or it goes someone else. This is the problem. This is why I'm 45 and never had anyone. So, yeah, not good at all, but there is nothing I can do about that situation. I've been on digital audio recording device quite a while, because when I came in here, there's just under 2 hours left before the bus, and there's only 10 minutes to go before I wait for the bus. So, you know what's going to happen now, don't you? Because it's a Friday evening, you can get all these bloody heavy setups. It's usually the same, so they're going to get the loud bike issue. As soon as I get home later, that loud bike's going to be controlled to my bloody whatever, and going to have all these setups, and may have to face a few threats. And, on a Friday or Saturday, whatever, you do tend to get it just that little bit worse than general days in the week, so I'm going to have to face that. But yeah, I can't afford to lose this Judger, or whatever her name is. Obviously I don't think that's her real name. She's trying to work out who it is. It's definitely not going to be. There's two people it's definitely not going to be who I thought it might be, because those two people have just confirmed that they don't like me. So now they're serious about it. Because I thought at one point that this person could be that person that went to mind, you know. But I don't know. Whoever this person is a bit more intelligent. If it is, that is. But I can't guarantee. But whoever this woman is can work me out like a piece of... She can work me out right through. She can see right through me. She can understand me. She can work me out. This person ain't stupid. But it's finding out if that person is genuine or a very highly intelligent person that's a scammer. It could be anybody. But she did say that she's meeting up with me in July. At the end of this month. But whether anything comes of it, I have my doubts, as always. People say always, you're supposed to think positive, stop thinking. The thing is, all my negative thinking always comes true. Everything I say, everything I predict in a negative way that goes against me has always come true out of everything in my life. When it comes to females, or thinking of someone turning against you, or it's going to happen, or she's going to be deliberately made pregnant, or there's this and that, it's always turned true. And people say you don't need to think like that. That's not true. But it is. It turns out true every time. This is a problem. I don't know how. But, you know, not much you can bloody do about it. So at the moment I've stopped dating on Facebook and I've stopped dating on dating sites because I'm talking to this one specific person called J-U-D, what is it? Judgia. I guess, I've forgotten how to spell it now. Don't worry, J-U-D-G, I can't remember now, but anyway, I'm relying on that one person at the moment, which means it's stopping me date. Obviously it's usually a waste of time on dating anyway. I mean, just for this one person, although I can't guarantee she's genuine, there's a lot of information that's coming out that she can understand about me, and I can't afford to lose this person by letting her down, by going on dating sites looking for someone else. If someone can understand me and someone's got a heart and knows what I've been through and knows the situation and suffering and all the rest of it, then it's best to stay in communication with that person without adding anybody else or doing whatever. Just holding it out with that one person, because I can't afford to lose a person that understands, who's a bit more intelligent, and who said she will go with me. I got to hold it out on that person, because I don't want to let that person down by trying to look for someone else. And obviously she could create an account anyway to see if I do that, you know, of a different name or whatever. Though I wouldn't, you know, I can hold it out for now. Obviously she's going to have to put some, I know it's going to take a bit of time, like a couple of months, if things don't, you know, move on, say in 2 months' time, it's going to, then obviously I'm going to have to do something because of my age. But let's just hope that she keeps in touch with me and stays in communication, and hopefully, even if she's using obviously it's possible she's using fake pictures. She could be trying to get to know me. She's building up on the time, you see, that's the problem. It's the time situation, and I haven't got that much time left. I'm 45 as it is already, and me getting a much younger person at 45 or higher is going to be much more difficult than what it would be, say, if you're in your teens or 20s. And a lot of people moan about the age gap these days, so that's what's making it very difficult. And, you know, especially if you've been abused and not had anything at all in your whole life and you want a younger woman, it's not exactly very helpful, is it? But then again, if my enemies didn't stir trouble, or the police were making up stuff when it came to the Stephanie business going back many years ago. Obviously they found out it's not true now, but going back in that time period, I wasn't very happy with the accusations that were made against me. But you know, there's nothing you can do about it. Many people have made up so many different things about me, and so much trouble has occurred in the past where people have turned females against me. That's why I've never had anyone. And also, I found out from my brother, and there's also documentaries on YouTube, that Bridgewater is one of the most dangerous towns. I think it was one of the top 10 most dangerous towns in the whole country. For towns, not cities. So, it says it all, doesn't it? I just want to clarify some information, because I can't remember if it's the top 10 or top 20, but it's one of the two. I got a feeling it was the top 10, but just in case it isn't, it's definitely in the top 20. Right, so whether this judge or whatever her name is comes true, as far as setups go, as far as suggestions go, leaving the barn, bike only to an erection, followed by a granny only. That's usually a sign to tell you that on your bike, mate, you're not having anything, you've got to go with granny. That's usually the suggestion, but I'm not so sure when it comes to this specific person that I mentioned. But there is something else that I want to mention. On the Google search bar, because it's a football World Cup season, they show different pictures of men playing football on the Google search. They're making a lot of suggestions of that 4-letter name that I'm not allowed to mention. But there's one specific one where where this bloke with the like purple top or whatever, purpley red top or whatever colour it was, he's like kicking the ball in the air and hitting the ball into the G, which is the Google start thing. There's one where he sort of kicks the ball up in the air, he turns up in the air, ends up doing like a turn in the air and kicks the ball into the G. They've made it suggest in the sort of motion that it goes, the pattern in the stages that it goes, the pattern that they do it, makes a suggestion. It's saying 4-letter names going with Justin that I can't mention. But this is not done in the UK, because it's not owned by the people in the UK that run the Google search. Is America. So have they messed up on that as well? Because with this 4-letter name that I'm not allowed to mention, that I saw on that one day on the 14th of January when I played pool with her, it's coming out in 300 different jungle tracks. It's in meditation music, it's in the cryo chamber, dark ambient tracks. The suggestions right through everywhere, and also as a religious name as well, meaning brightness, light, love, honesty, similar to Jesus basically. It's just very, very interesting, because this person's been taken from me, or I've not seen her since that one specific day. I did say to have to replace it if that was supposed to be with me. Obviously, I will say something else. When I left Mind on Wednesday, I would have stayed there. If there's someone got in a relationship with me or whatever, I would stay there. But obviously, that one person doesn't go there anymore. And the other person that I mentioned, who's 42, she has turned against me as well. She's got someone. It was interesting that after I left there, that each and every time I was buying shopping with my debit card, usually you can tap and go. Now and again it asks you to insert your card. Every single place that I went to after I left Mind on Wednesday, including 24-hour garage, later that evening to buy a packet of cigarettes, it's told me to insert the card and put my PIN in. And I found that very interesting, because that's never happened that many times in one day before. Once, yeah. Maybe twice at a maximum. I don't even know if it has been twice. But if it has, that's the maximum it's been. but 3 or 4 or 5 times in one day is very interesting. And also it's very interesting that when I was at mine this week, there's a load of helicopters flying around above mine the whole time I was there. There's literally about 20 helicopters that passed in the hour and 20 minutes, however long it was I was there. That was interesting as well. I don't know if it's like encircling or whatever, but it seemed to be rather busy on that day. So because the actual time I noticed that this person fell out with me was about 10 minutes earlier than when I was going to leave. So I left 10 minutes earlier to rearrange my schedule to go onto the bus to Bridport, because obviously if relationship or friendship got tight, you know, if I knew that these people still like me or whatever, or show some interest or whatever, then I could it would be see, it's all through, you see, that's the problem. I've got to rely on this judger. Or Judya. So Judya, that's the spelling. It's come back to me again. Yeah, I've got to rely on that one person. There's no one else I'm speaking to. Everyone else has fallen out with me, or if they haven't fallen out with me in person or online, then the scammers that I no longer speak to. So yeah, I'm relying on that one person. There's just something about that one person that just sort of gives that hint to someone that knows me in person. But it could be just somebody else, I don't know. But whatever it is, that's the only person left out of everything. In the past I mentioned, why don't you go with a family member when they grow up and reach legal age, or go with your cousin's daughter, or, you know, this and that's rubbish, you know. The problem is, the minors in my side of the family, if they're above the age of 11, they're all in relationships, because they start young these days. The other thing I want to mention is not only, and the ones that aren't in relationships are the ones that look, they're the type people, they're the sort of children that are going to look like very grubby, or look like the munter type when they reach legal age. And you've got to look at all that, and you've got to look at the age I am, of course. You've got to look at, you know, it's impossible. It literally is impossible. You know, everything's been taken into account. Looking at for past friends, I mean, going back to 2005, what was it one of my enemies said? And said, I didn't realise you didn't have anything. And said, oh, bad life, mate. And said, I have to wait till my daughter grows up and I'll let you go with her. But the problem is, even the daughters of these people are now mothers. And these, because they got moaning about age gaps today, if I knew that person's daughter grown up today, she'd be the type that doesn't like me or put me down the saddle or something like that. It's all changed. But back in those days of 2005, people weren't moaning about age gaps, and those that had bad lives were being found out sexual people that were a lot younger than them. And also people were getting away with having sex with people below the legal age of consent. So I was walking to the carnival in 2008, taking the canal from Bridgewater to North Perroton. There was a bloke about 50 something, and this was quite a hard, rough looking type bloke, I might add. Very similar looking to I'll try and think of someone that this person looked like. Well, I can't think of an actual person it looks like, but if you remember Harry and Merv, the robbers in Home Alone, if you were to picture someone that's similar looking type of person to that, don't look like those two, but giving you a suggestion, that sort of appearance, you're only having a fucking sex with a girl about 11 years of age, And when I walked past and I saw it, it was nightfall. Even the girl who was aged about 11 picked up a load of wood and stones and threw it at me and said, "You say anything, you're fucking dead, mate." Even the little 11-year-old girl shouted that to me, saying, "You fucking say anything or you phone the police, you're fucking dead, mate." She was sticking up for the 50-year-old that she was fucking. And that really pissed me off. It was because it's on carnival night as well. And actually walking to the carnival, not to the carnival, because I didn't actually go to the carnival, I was walking to my dad's. And then obviously we went out in the car for a drive around, taking the reverse direction to where the carnival was on, obviously. And then obviously I can't remember if I stayed over that night or went back home, because I was always annoyed with the Palace nightclub and all the trouble. And I think it might have been the time where I stayed out there for the weekend, because I started staying at my dad's going back at North Perrin at the time when a Palace nightclub was on, because it was getting rough and it was getting dangerous, you know. And I didn't feel very comfortable staying at my place, so on weekends I did that. But I also did this going back before I started staying at dad's, when it got really rough, because it went through stages where it got really, really rough, especially in 2006. So I'd sort of, in that time period, I was sort of walking down the canal, leaving about 10 o'clock at night, something like that. I can't remember the time now. Maybe a bit earlier, and not returning until 4 or 5 in the morning. I wasn't doing it frequently, but there were times where it got really rough and I was feeling very concerned where I did it. But yeah, this right through my fucking life has been like this, and yet I'm 45 nearly and still not had anyone. But anyway, I've got to stop the recording because there's people not directly ahead, but they're going to be up in my direction shortly. There's just been 2 old ladies past me, and they've been saying like this, basically, saying, why, if he's with her, why is he not around with her, and why is he walking about with like he's got no one? So what's going on then? What do you reckon's going on? So they're basically saying that these are 2 old ladies in their 70s. Obviously, I don't know if they're referring to me, whether they're mistaking me as a different person. It didn't say who, by the way. But it's interesting that they could be mistaking me as someone else that's not with someone that has got someone, or it could just be that something's been said and they recognise my face to what's been said, just wondering why I'm not with nobody. I don't know, but very interesting information. And incidentally, it's the same people that was in front of me when I stopped recording, because I said I was going to end the recording. If I get to hear that again, I might see if I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but I might just try and see if I can ask them, or be polite and ask, who is it you think that I should be with, maybe? I might do that. I've got to be polite though, I don't want to sort of, just to see what's going on, or whether they're talking about someone else. But it's mentioned when they pass me, but if someone else mentions that, I will kind of question them just to find out if I get that option without being rude or causing offence. Flying creatures saying ow. Ow, sorry. Umbrella music, yeah, very interesting information. Playing in someone's car.